السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله.
أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم، والصلاة والسلام على خير المرسلين سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين. اللهم لا سهل إلا ما جعلته سهلا، وأنت تجعل الحزن إذا شئت سهلا. اللهم أعنا على ذكرك وشكرك وحسن عبادتك يا أرحم الراحمين. اللهم اغفر لنا ولوالدينا ولجميع المسلمين الأحياء منهم والأموات يا أرحم الراحمين. We Muslims, we believe in all previous prophets, miracles and prophecies. We believe when Sayyidina Musa alayhi salatu wasalam, he split the sea. We believe in the miracles of Sayyidina Isa alayhi salatu wasalam when he cured the leopard and when he raised a dead person. But all these miracles and all we have not seen, we have not witnessed, we believe in it because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and His Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, they told us about these miracles in the Quran and the Hadith. In case of Islam, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He made the miracles and the prophecies, He make all these miracles and the prophecies applicable to all times and to all generations. So every generation at any moment of their life, they will witness a miracles of Islam or a prophecy of Islam. Let's take this ayah for example. بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He said, وَالَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا بَعْضُهُمْ أَوْلِيَاءُ بَعْضٍ. He said, all the kuffar, all the non-believers are supporters and protectors of one another. We can see this ayah is coming to life at this moment. We can see all these forces of evil are gathered in one hand, in one heart, in attacking our brothers and sisters in Gaza and Palestine. وَالَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا بَعْضَهُمْ أَوْلِيَاءُ بَعْضٍ. All the kuffar, the non-believers, are protectors and supporters of one another, my brothers. When we look at the hadith of our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when he said, there will be a time all nations will be gathering and you, attacking you, it's like you are sitting with your family on a meal. We can see this hadith coming to life at this moment, my brothers. When we see all the United Nations laws, when we see all the Geneva Convention laws, is not applicable to Muslims. It's applicable to everything else. Humanity, crimes of war, this and that. But when it comes to Muslims, all these laws are suspended. When you see Nikki Haley, the previous governors of South Carolina, and the previous governor and the previous U.S. ambassador to United Nations, when she announced, when she said, by the way, she's from Indian background, she's Sikh background, when she made statement and she said, burn them all. You know what she's saying? She's saying to burn 2.3 million Palestinians in Gaza. Burn them all. Did anyone say any remark with her? Did anyone accuse her of war crime? Did anyone accuse her of hatred? No, they all applauded her. Why? Because the one she's talking about are Muslims, are Palestinians. When we see the U.S. Senator Lindsey Graham, he's saying this war is a religious war. Let's level Gaza to the ground. He is calling for what? For killing 2.3 million people. Half of them are kids, my brothers. Half of them are kids. Did you see any newspaper attacking him? Did you see anything accusing him of anything? No. Why? Because you're talking about Muslims. You're talking about Palestinians. When you see our President Biden, he is deploying USS Ford. Do you know, my brothers, what's the USS Ford? It's a war machine which has cost more than $14 billion. This war machine have nuclear capability. This war machine carries 75 aircraft on it. This aircraft carrier have more than 4,500 crew. Deployed for what? For Gaza? Do you know what's the size of Gaza, my brothers? It's 139 square miles. To put it into perspective, Los Angeles City, not county, Los Angeles City, 440 square miles. Gaza, it's 139 square miles. The whole world are gathering for it. Now it's a crime in Germany if you mention Palestine. It's a crime in France if you support Palestine. It's a crime in England and British if you support Palestine. Why? What happened to the freedom of speech? What happened of other people's choices? What happened? No. When it comes to Palestine, my brothers, to the Muslims, they dehumanize us. They look at us as we're not a human. when the Minister of Defense, he called Palestinians are animals. What does it mean? We are worthless. We are like cockroaches. We are like mosquitoes. The more you kill, people become insensitive when it comes to Muslims and Palestinians, my brothers. But what is the cause of this problem, my brothers? Is this problem just happened right now? Is the Palestinian war issue, it's a spur of the moment? Let me give you a brief summary of Palestine, my brothers, so you could understand what's happening. To understand the situation of Palestine, my brothers, we have to go back to the 19th in Europe, 1900 in Europe. In 1900 of Europe, there was a movement at that time. It started to gain popularity among the Jewish populations. This movement was called the Zionism, the Zionist movement. What is the premise of this movement? The premise of this movement, Judaism is not just a religion. Judaism is a nationality. What does that mean? That means we have to work on finding a homeland for the nation of the Zionism. Imagine, to put it in perspective, there is one country. Anyone who is a Muslim, you are citizen of that country. Disregard where you're from. Doesn't matter, Pakistan, Jordan, US, China, whatever. If you are a Muslim, you are, inshallah, will have it. That's called al-khilafah, inshallah. So that's what the Zionism called for. The Zionism called for, a Jewish is a nationality. We have to find a homeland for us. At that time, my brothers, this is the historic Palestine. I hope you can see it. That's before 1948. The whole area is Palestine. That's where Palestinians occupying, they're living in this land. So what happened then? When this movement started gaining ground, they were encouraging the Jewish European to start immigrating to Palestine. The Jewish community at that time, they were about 4 or 5% living in Palestine with Palestinians. They were neighbors. There was nothing, Christians, Jewish, Muslims, they were living hand to hand. So what happened at that time? The European Jewish, they start slowly flooding Palestine. Palestinian, my brother, at that time, they were under the British occupations. They were farmers, basic people. There's no complication in their life. Initially, they welcomed these immigrants. Okay, you're coming from Europe, let's help them out. But what happened later on, especially after the German Holocaust, a huge number of Jewish immigrants, they start coming to Palestine. Then the Palestinians, they realize it's not just people coming to work and help immigrants. They realize these people are occupiers. Those groups, those Jewish immigrants, they are European background, they have the money, they have the weapon, they have the sophistication. They start organizing themselves. They start forming military wings called Haganah. And they start attacking and taking over Palestinian land. So what happened? The Palestinians and those immigrants, they start fighting conflict. British at that time, they left their hands and they gave the orders to United Nations to find a solution for this conflict. So what the United Nations in 1947, my brothers, they proposed two-state solution. The two-state solution in 1947, 44% given to Palestinians and 56% given to the new Jewish immigrants. That's the proposals of 1947, my brothers, to Palestine. The Jewish, they accepted these proposals. The Jewish at that time, they were like 25% of populations. The Palestinians, they rejected these proposals. They are giving 44% and they are over 75%. What happened at that time? It was the war of 1948. That was the first war happened in Palestine. But the problem, the Palestinians and the Arab allies, they lost the war because the Jewish, they were more organized, supported by British, supported by Europe. So this is what happening, the map of Palestine in 1948. 44% to Palestinians and 56% to the Jewish occupier. What happened after? The Jewish did not accept the situation and they start fighting, grabbing more land. They were uprooting Palestinians from their villages. They have the military weapons, and Palestinians, they were under the British control at that time. They just came out. They don't have any army, nothing to organize them. So what happened? Slowly, 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 my brothers, the land was taken slowly, slowly by these Jewish. And before the 1967, this was the map of Palestine. From 44%, they grabbed additional 22%. So the Palestinians at that time, they only have 22% of the land, and 78% went to the occupiers. What happened at that time? The struggle continued with Palestine. Non-stop fighting in Palestine until 1967 war, which called the 6 Days War. There was a big war in Palestine, which Palestinians and the Arab countries, which was Syria, Jordan, and Egypt, they lost the war. What happened after they lost the war? The whole Palestine was taken by the Jewish government, and also the Golan Heights, they were taken from Syria, and also all Sinai Peninsula was taken by the Jewish. So in 1967, all Palestine, the Golan Heights, and Sinai from Egypt was taken, and it was under the Israeli government. So the situation at that time, my brothers, continue. Palestinians, they will never give up. Always continue the struggle between them and the occupiers. What happened, my brothers, in 1978, there was what's called Camp David. The Egyptian Anwar Sadat, he made a peace treaty with Israel. So they wanted to remove Egypt from fighting with Israel. So in 1978, they gave back Sinai to Egypt, and Egypt was taken away from fighting to to liberate Palestine. In 1980, between 1987 and 1993, there was something called the Intifada, the first uprising in Palestine. So people were, I don't know if you've seen it, kids throwing rocks. It was boycotting. It was a major catastrophe at that time. In 1993, there was a secret talk between the PLO, Yasser Arafat, and the Jewish Zionist movement, and they made something called the Oslo Accord, the Oslo Agreement that was in 1993. This agreement was saying the West Bank and Gaza, this is the West Bank, my brothers, and this is Gaza, the small Gaza. It will be under the Palestinian Authority, and the rest of it will be under the Zionist Authority. Despite this Oslo agreement, despite what's happening, the Jewish settlers, they continue to grab more and more and more land of Palestine. Even the West Bank, the one agreed to be given to Palestinians, look at all this white thing, that's settlement. They start slowly grab. So now Palestinians, they end up with only 15%. See, that is the situation of Palestine, my brother. So the situation, what's happening right now, is not a spur of the moment. The situation of Palestine right now, their land from 100% to 15%. Even these 15%, my brothers, they do not have any full authority. They broke the cities into small towns. Imagine for me to go from Los Angeles to Glendale, there will be like 4 or 5 checkpoints. For me to go there, I need to have a permit from the Israeli government. They build walls to divide city between one town to one town. If your families are living on the other side, you cannot even see them. I visited Palestine like 7 years ago. The only way I could go there because I'm American. If I'm a Palestinian, I cannot. I saw the wall dividing. They build walls, streets. Imagine there's a freeway. The Arabs, Palestinians cannot drive on it. It's only pure for Israelis. That is the condition, my brothers, of Palestine. I hope right now you have some ideas what's happening. It came from this area to this area, less than 15%, without any authority. In 2005, the occupiers, they left Gaza. But what happened when they left Gaza? Embargo, my brothers. They surrounded the area with settlements. Those Gazans, they cannot leave except from 2 areas. From the Egypt side, which Egypt stopped preventing Palestinians from crossing, and the Jewish side, which you have to have permit. Imagine your enemy will give you permit to leave. That's the condition of Gaza, my brothers. Small area with 2.3 million people living there. What's happening to them right now? No power, no electricity, no water, nothing. Bombarded. And now they're giving them 24 hours. You have to leave. Where are they going to leave? Are they going to go jump to the ocean? Or are they going to demolish the whole city? سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك استغفروا ربكم إنه كان غفارا أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على سيد المرسلين سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين. Let's go back to the ayah which I mentioned in my khutbah. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He said, بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم والذين كفروا بعضهم أولياء بعض. All the kuffar, all the non-believers, they are supporters and they are protectors of one another. Let's continue the ayah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He said, ألا تفعلوا تكن فتنة في ألا تفعلوه تكن فتنة في الأرض وفساد كبير. Allah, He gave the solution to this ayah. What did He say? Unless you, the Muslims, are united and protecting each other and supporting each other, corruption will happen to the land. The kuffar are united in one hand. The solution for these issues, you, the Muslim Ummah, have to unite in one hand. If you do not unite in one hand, what will happen? Corruption, fasad. And that's what's happening. Are we one Ummah? Gaza and Palestine, what? Surrounded by 21 Arab countries. Do you think if these Ummah were united, anyone even come close to it? Do you think the USS Ford can even sail there? Do you think Germany and France and London, whatever, they can say no? But as our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when the Sahaba, they told him, are we attacked, Ya Rasulullah, because we are so little? He said, no, you are so much, you're big, but you are a foam. You are an ocean foam. Weak, looking for this dunya, looking to make money only, looking for happiness, and forgetting about your duty and your goal as a Muslim. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala unite this ummah. Because my brothers, wallahi, without united this ummah, we will suffer. All the Muslim countries will suffer. Without uniting, without loving each other, without us supporting and putting hand to each other. That's the only solution. Without it, situation will be becoming fitna, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned in the Quran. Wallahi, my brothers, if we look at the hadith and the Quran, we will find the solution for everything. The solution of all our problem. But we are reading these ayahs, just reading without understanding and implementing. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala unite this ummah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgive us all. اللهم أعنا على ذكرك وشكرك وحسن عبادتك. اللهم اغفر لنا ولوالدينا ولجميع المسلمين. اللهم انصر إخواننا المجاهدين في فلسطين. اللهم أعن إخواننا وأهلنا في غزة يا أرحم الراحمين. Have them, my brothers, in your dua. Whatever support you can give the civilian, the kids, the family, financial support. Find any organized, accepted government donation situation and give it to them, my brothers. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك.